Good. We're good there. We are good here. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am Ian. This is usually my beautiful wife, Rachel. Obviously, that's not. This is
Big Noah, what's going on?
Big Noah, Big Noah. So, as I had said last night, or excuse me, in the lead up to this, last night's episode was of Real Talk was a little bit emotional for Mom. So, Mom is doing that self care and taking the night off. And then I'm back here with Big Noah. We had so much fun doing Love and Basketball the other day that we decided to do another episode, Love and Basketball Part 2. And of course, we are of Big Family Life in the Simpson family home, and 4S with the Simpson family. The 4S represent faith, family, food, and fitness. Faith because we believe we can do all things through Him who loves us. Family because aside from God, there's nothing more important in life. Food because food is medicine, and fitness because we believe that overall wellness can be achieved by maintaining a strong mind, soul, and body, hence the 4S. This is a segment we like to call Real Talk. We're going to get into it. We're getting into, some of the, let's just get into it, man. This is Love and Basketball with Big Noah. Let's get shout outs right away, shout outs on the ground. Sam, what's good, coach? Thanks for stopping in, Sam. We appreciate you. God bless you. Shelby, Ethan, what's up, fam? God bless you all. Tiernan, what up, King? How you doing, man? Thanks for stopping in. God bless
Josh
you.
is in here
On
too.
this, Josh, and Brad, how you doing, man? Good to see you, fam. God bless you all. On this app here, I can see, because this is managing multiple platforms, I can see that there's a viewer here with us. However, unless you give us a shout out so we can give you a shout out back, I can't see who you are. And if you want to give us a shout out, we can shout you out back. God bless you. If you're not, you want to be a silent observer, God bless you too. So we doing Love and Basketball, and the subtopic is growing up black in Winnipeg. Yeah, we going in, man. Yeah, we go deep. We go deep, man. Lived life experience. Lived life experience. Big Noah, go.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? What's up, Ethan? What's up, Tiernan? Eric's in here. What's going on? Yeah.
Good evening, man. God bless you all. Hey, Harry, God bless you all. Thanks for stopping in. Everybody passing through. Go, Big Noah.
Just talk on going up there.
Hi, Carla. God bless you. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, we're on this topic because obviously it's relevant for us, right? However, so the other day we were having a conversation, Big Noah and I were having a conversation. We like to have real conversations in the Simpson family home, and this topic somehow came up organically, right? And Noah was like, it was like, when did you first notice? Is it bedtime yet? No, not yet. All right, you can say hi. And it was like, when did you first notice? But in front of the camera, baby. Put yourself in front of the camera. Oh, no, don't hit it. Knock over the mic.
Sorry.
Come on this side. And when did you first notice that you were black? Right? And he answered me. What was your answer, son?
Yeah, the other day at supper we had gotten asked that. I just talked about a memory that I had from way back in the days, like in like kindergarten or something. We just did this little activity with our classroom. I don't know why we did it, thinking on it now, but you just had to match yourself up with someone who was the same skin tone as you. So I wanted to go with my buddy Aiden, who was a white guy. And then he told me no, you can't go with me. We're not the same skin color, and we're put our hands next to each other like this. And I thought I was the same skin color as him, but yeah, that's when I noticed I wasn't.
Yeah. And I mean, interestingly enough, for me, I grew up, I was allowed to be, up until my own personal experience, I was allowed to be color neutral up until high school, I think. Actually, I grew up in the Wolseley area, so that's the best place in the best area in Winnipeg to grow up, and I was actually allowed to be. The world allowed me to be just a kid up until grade 9 or something. Well, probably grade 7, but more so grade 9, and grade 9 was right around the time that my mom passed, so that's when the world really took. Then you don't have an advocate. Yeah, man. So. Let's go in. Let's narrow this down to as it pertains to, because I can think back to when we were playing football. Rods football, Nomads football, whatever. Back then, you were a running back, and talk about your lived life experience, man. Like, I mean, do you feel that you were given a fair shake as a young black athlete, even now as a young man here in the city?
I mean, I guess I never really noticed it back then, but looking back on it now, is it could be the reason why is like people felt a certain way about me or something like that, or I didn't get the same calls as someone else, or the refs favored other people instead of me or something. Because it always just seemed like I had a bad reputation, and I didn't know why, but...
You remember playing against the St. James Mustangs, man, when we had to go over and play the Mustangs?
Yeah.
They were always good. Talk about that a little bit. What was that like for you?
I don't know. Playing the Mustangs was like... Anyone who played for the Nomads knows what that's like, but that's a big rivalry, and like, I don't know, the refs were just... They might have literally been paying the refs, or you never know. But they were really dirty too, like stepping on your fingers when you fall on the ground with their cleats and kicking you and all that.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. I also remember that because the guys were, I was the coach, right? And my guys are coming over the sideline and telling me that, cleats in the hands and showing me the damage. I mean, it was bad enough because that team is always good, right? That team is always good, right? That team is always stacked. I mean, they have great athletes. They have a great system. I mean, I don't take anything away from that. However, when we got to the field, we're walking up, and the referees, I kid you not, were giving pounds with the St. Vital players, and high fiving and having conversations because one ref was a teacher at the school that the kids went to, and it was like, okay, all right, well, that's fine. Well, we just got a game to play, right? So let's just go play the game. And we didn't get no call. We were Rods. We were a very multi-ethnic team, right?
Yeah.
Right? Some indigenous kids, some black kids, some
white kids.
Yeah, I mean, very, very diverse. That's the word I'm looking for.
Multicultural, yeah.
And I mean, it was just, we were getting no calls. He was getting no calls. And I mean, and on top of that, they were better than us. I mean, they were just better than us. And that's fine. However, they had a way of rubbing it in your face and then just being dirty, and just then the refs just, and I mean, I knew I was going to get called. I knew I was going to get thrown out the game because the injustice. Right? The injustice. I knew I was going to get thrown out. But it's what I got thrown out for. That was like, the ref made a call that was, and I don't even remember the call anymore. But it was just ridiculous in a game that was well out of hand. And I think it was, at that age, mouth guards had to be in, right? So usually the referees, it's a safety issue. It's not one of to penalize the children. It's to ensure that the children are safe. Right, so generally speaking, what the ref will do, before he blows the play in, he'll blow the whistle because these are children, right? Blow the whistle and mouth guard warning, quick, fast, mouth guard warning, blow the play. And I mean, we our own fault. I mean, as poor coaching on my fault. I mean, didn't make sure that these kids had their mouth guards in every play. I mean, it's something that you coach. However, it's just it happens. They legitimately called every mouth guard penalty. They have the option to throw the flag and call a 15-yard penalty. However, as I said, it's at the discretion of the referee, and it's really just a safety thing. It's not really something to be, but they called like 3 or 4, and it was just like, it was so out of pocket. And the ref came walking out of over the sideline, and I knew he was going to toss me. And I just started walking to the other end of the field as he's walking towards me. And I'm like, you ought to be ashamed of yourself for what you're doing to these kids. And he's... I just kept it moving. That was the end of it. But I mean, it's what it is, man. It's what it is. You say now that at the time you were just out there playing ball, whether it's basketball, whether it was football, whatever it was. Well, that's the 2 sports you played. And at the time you didn't see it. But looking back now, hey, a couple shout outs, man, on the ground.
Yeah, what's going on, Big Sauce and Chris? How's it going?
Hey, guys.
Thanks for checking in.
Thanks for stopping in, man. God bless you.
Yeah, no, that definitely could have been reasons for some things. Like you never know why it happened or what the reason was for it behind it. You know, it's something that just doesn't make sense.
Right.
But,
Right. Like, I mean, if we think, okay, do you remember the game? Okay, basketball. Let's switch gears
I
now.
actually got a question here. Ian, how do you feel about the NBA is played now? The way the NBA is played now?
How do I feel about the way the NBA is played now? On a quick aside, I think that without the fans, that it exposes a lot on the court. It exposes a lot of the on court product, because what happens is that. With the fans, you have the distraction, and you got all those superstars out there. You have all these famous people and so on and so forth, and so you can see the distraction, right? You don't really see the product on the court as much. Right now, without that distraction, it's really the focus really is on the game itself and on the officiating. And I thought that of all the big sports that I watched last year, and I don't really watch sports anymore. I kind of no. Hey man, that's my journey. That's my personal journey. Everybody's on, because you know me, man. I was that guy. Basketball, football. My week was predicated on how well my team did or didn't do. However, I've kind of elevated a little bit, if you would. You know what I mean? I'm vibrating at a different frequency right now, where that kind of stuff doesn't really, it's not as relevant to me anymore. However, I do still, keep an eye on it, and I do still have an opinion. And oh, hey Teresa, God bless you. Thank you for stopping in.
How's it going?
God bless you. Yeah, Big Noah back in the house. I thought that basketball, of all the big sports, when it came to being in the bubble last year, the playoffs, and yes, sir, that they were the only one. They did it the best. You know what I mean? I can't imagine what it must be like playing in an empty arena. You know what I mean? 70,000 fan seat, like baseball and hockey, and then you just echoes nothing. Yeah. So then you looked at basketball, they did it the best. And then what I noticed was that because they're playing in a smaller venue, the shooters went off, right? Because it's easier to shoot in a smaller venue because there's too much space. So now they're back in their regular arenas.
It's like, I feel like it's almost like playing an exhibition game every single night, though, not having the fans there with that energy in the building.
Well, that's just it. And that excellent point, because that's what I first said. I said, you look at a guy like in the playoffs, especially last year, guys like who was it? Giannis didn't do well. Didn't do particularly well. Pascal Siakam didn't do well at all. These guys are energy guys, right? They feed off the crowd, right? And so there's no, and see now they're pumping in noise and stuff like that, and I can't do it anymore, man. I just now you. Okay, that's just a joint. Shout out him. I don't know, man. I look at it and I see that scoring has gone up, right? Shooting percentages are up, right? I'm just, hey Jojo, God bless you. Thanks for stopping in. I hear that the Maples might be open tomorrow, as early as tomorrow. If we hear anything more, we'll let you know. I don't love the offensive mindedness of the game today. For instance, Chris, you'll appreciate this example. If you know the tape I'm talking about, I'll reference this tape. When you look at the tape of how defensive played Kobe Bryant, right? When when it was those lean years when he had like Sasha Vujacic and just him and Fish basically over there in LA, right? You would see that defenses would just straight up leave their men, put 3 guys in the key and 2 guys doubling the ball, and Kobe was going against 5 guys all the time. More or less defenses would rotate to stop him. Then I look at the game today and I see guys like Tyler Hero. No disrespect to the guy, I'm sure he's an excellent basketball player, right? However, I look at like who Jason Tatertot was defending him in that playoff series, and I mean in a contested game in the fourth quarter, and somehow Jason over pursued and Tyler crossed over, just a basic crossover, broke him off. Somehow there was no help at the rim. Somehow he scored an easy layup, and to help determine the outcome of the game. That I'm an old head, right? I've been a student of this for a long time, and I mean I haven't seen anything like what I'm seeing now. So it's all a little bit suspect to me right now. So I'm kind of tuning out, because you're telling me that scoring is all the way up, but from what I'm seeing in the fourth quarter of a contested game, how are guys breaking their defender off and getting uncontested layups and uncontested dunks? There's no blocks at the rim. There's no defensive rotation. There's no hard fouls. It's playoff. I understand if it's in the season, regular season, even halfway point. But what I just described was the playoffs last year. That doesn't make sense to me. Something doesn't compute.
Yeah. The way the game is played out is a lot different, obviously, but yeah, like you said, without the energy, and like we were saying, without the energy in the building, it makes it a whole lot different because that could really change the outcome of the game. And with momentum and all that, you get momentum going in your direction. That's always a good thing, right? I feel like all those aspects of the game are gone almost. Like, obviously, you can still get momentum, but just the fans is really big, just the energy.
And you'll see guys that the high skilled players are going to do really well, right? Skilled players are doing really well, like you saw.
Booker.
Right, and you saw that. What's his name there? Who am I thinking of there? Oh, sorry. Give me a second. I'm having a.
There's lots of guys. Jamal Murray, Donovan
That's
Mitchell.
him. That's him. Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
You saw Jamal Murray there. He just had a breakout year last year. He went off inside the bubble because, again, this is a high skill guy and he's a pure shooter, so he's going to shoot better inside that small atmosphere than he would necessarily inside. And then confidence being what it is, that just carries over the next year. And doing that work. And as you said, Devin Booker, that's a great call. And then again, you see guys that require the energy, guys like Pascal Siakam. He's even to a certain extent Kyle Lowry. Yeah. Right? Not having Giannis. And I think Giannis, I saw one game the other day. I saw some highlights or something. I think he's bounced back a little bit. He's having a better year this year. Interesting that is that James Harden and Kyrie and KD, they're doing it, right? It's working.
Yeah.
It's working, right?
Yeah, it is working. Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't watched.
Yeah, it's working. I don't see how any team in the East beats them, but I thought they gave up way too much for that because they got rid of all their defense, all their rebounding.
You bet. And that's the league now. You don't need defense and rebounding no more. You just put the ball as long as I can score. That's that Mike D'Antoni brand of basketball.
Score more points than
just
them,
score more
right?
points.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. Nobody can score like they do, right? So it's like. You don't gotta play defense almost because they're gonna come back and score anyways.
Right, you know what I mean. You get yours, and I mean you don't need a rebounder because you can't crash the offensive boards because you better get back. Yeah. You better get back because they're running at you, and I mean they've got some nice role players out there too.
Well, not anymore, but yeah, they got a couple still. Jeff Green and they got Landry Shamet now.
Yeah, right. He's a good shooter. Yeah, I mean it's just so interesting that. It's like the maple marksman.
That's Jamal Murray. He's talking about the maple marksman because he's Canadian.
Hey, here's something. Let's go back a little bit, okay? This because I'd forgotten that Rick Fox is Canadian, right? And who out there remembers that Rick Fox is Canadian? I've forgotten.
Barely remembered that. Yeah.
I'd forgotten that Rick Fox was Canadian, and he used to play for Team Canada, and then when he got drafted by the Boston Celtics. I was talking to a friend, an old friend there from back in the day, and he live out in Toronto now. He's telling me the story. Now, maybe I can't tell his portion of it because it's not my story to tell, but it was just grimy how he was done by Basketball Canada, and he was good enough. That wasn't the issue, and he mentioned just to kind of not validate or corroborate, but to add on to his story that Rick Fox had mentioned that when he was drafted by the Bruce Brown, who Bruce
that
Brown?
Must be another Canadian guy. He plays for the Pistons, I think.
Okay, that when he was drafted by the Boston Celtics, he said he never played for Team Canada again. He said he'd never played for Team Canada, and it had to do with Ken Shields being a racist. So, I mean, you'd love to think that we're in a situation where talent ultimately wins out, right? That's what it's supposed to be. Talent is supposed to be undeniable. However, as GQ Jordan here is passing through, GQ Jordy with your good hair, he probably learned he was black when he was about 12 years old. How old were you at that Rod's banquet? 12, 13 years old.
Bruce Brown is another guy the Nets have. Okay.
Okay, Nets. Thank you, Eric. And so Jordan, growing up black in Winnipeg, Jordan learned he was black when he was about 12 years old. So he wanted to play a little bit of football, right? And he was nice. He played quarterback because of his intelligence. He's nice, and he could throw the ball, and he could do all those things. So we said, all right, let's go play. And this is years after I no longer coach, and I no longer really deal with basketball, football, Manitoba. I stepped away, right? And he decided he wanted to play. So we said, okay, let's go check it out. But I'm no longer coaching. I'm just a parent now. And so we're there, and they put him in the first. So what you need to understand is that the coach's kid was the quarterback. Okay, so we're playing a game in Transcona, and I remember because it was Amanda and Sean, Kim and Jenny's kids, Amanda and Sean's wedding, and so I was wearing a full suit because I had to go to the wedding right after the game. Remember that, right? And well, you were in the. I didn't really even get a chance to talk to you because I was in and out. I was on the sideline. I don't even know if you knew I was there, but I was there. And he had him a game. He had himself a game. And I mean,
yeah, I remember that.
He accounted for more touchdowns himself that game than the team had all the last season, right? Right?
Yeah, I remember that. You were going off.
Right? So, and I mean, what the one play I wanted to note was that the coach had called, was it a jet sweep to his kid? Or something like this, right? He had called a running play, right? So Jordan walked up to the line of scrimmage and surveying the defense, he looked and saw that the other team didn't have a defender on our wide receiver. Right? These are kids, right? I mean, this is what is that? Pee-wee? Just Pee-wee or Pee-wee football? These are kids, 12-year-old kids, right? I mean, yeah, they didn't have the receiver wasn't covered. And so Jordan just stared down. He did. The old heads would remember Herman Moore, the Detroit Lions, and Scott Mitchell, right? Playoff game. Scott Mitchell's the quarterback. Herman Moore's the wide receiver. Or even I think that Dan Marino did it one time too. And more recently, guys have done it where you don't say nothing. You just stare down the receiver to let him know the ball is coming at him. So Jordan did that, and and then the receiver actually ran a route. He was trying to fly. Yeah, he just ran a fly. He ran a straight fly. I mean, I don't know how y'all figured out that, but I mean, that he didn't just stand there and catch the ball, but he ran a fly, and Jordan dropped it in there on a dime, and then it was a touchdown. Great play, right? Mm. Great play, right? Nah. Coach is mad. Run what I call. I understand that from a coaching perspective. I'm sorry? Where you going? Oh, you asked Mom? Okay, cool. Peace. Trying to tell me, look at me talking about, I'm out. I'm like, where you going? You don't tell me you leaving? We ain't asking no more. But he'd ask Mom, so it's all good. So that year, right? Yeah, and after that game, they didn't let him play quarterback anymore. Yeah, and go.
Yeah, that same year he didn't even win MVP too.
No, I'm getting there. Yeah, they didn't let him play quarterback no more. And we're at games now, sitting in the stands, and the other parents who are frustrated from losing from the previous season and this season, they look at me like, "Why is your kid not playing quarterback?" And I'm like, "I'm just sitting there sipping my tea. I'm not the coach. I'm just a parent and trying to enjoy the game."
I'm actually remembering that.
Yeah.
At 12 years old, the coach should be impressed with an audible.
Facts.
Yeah,
right?
No.
Facts. So I'm sitting there sipping my tea while these parents are asking me why my kid's not playing. So then the next game, they moved him to defensive end.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
First play of the game, he shoot off the line and he just destroyed the quarterback on the other team. I mean, he knocked him out the game. He destroyed him. Blew him out. You didn't remember that?
Yeah, I did. I do now.
Blew him up.
Ate him up.
Blew him up. Like, destroyed him. Right? Blew him up. I felt bad for the kid's parents.
Oh, Bueno said, what's up? What's going on, Bueno?
Hey, what's good, Bueno? Thanks for stopping in, man. God bless you. So blew him up, right? And then, good thing, right? No. The very next play, they moved him to linebacker. The very next series of defensive plays, they moved him to linebacker. So it's plainly obvious that, they didn't want Jordan to have any success because he was outshining the coach's kid. I mean, I get it, right? So fast forward to the banquet. We go to the banquet, the awards banquet. Jordan's feeling pretty good. I see, Feeling pretty good, you know? And me, I know that there's going to be a valuable lesson learned today. Right? Or I suspect. Hope springs eternal, right? I have hope, right? So we got Boston Pizza, and we do the pizza thing and this, that, and the other, and getting closer to the awards now, and and these kids are winding down and settling down, and then the awards start getting handed out, and I mean, maybe they'll do the right thing and give him one of the supplementary awards. You know what I mean? Something, but nothing. So now we're down to the MVP, and I mean, my boy's over there vibrating, man, and he still believe that he got this. And they gave it to the quarterback, the coach's kid, yeah. And I looked at my son, man, and he did such a great job holding it together and hiding his disappointment and applauding his teammate and congratulating his teammate even. And I took him outside, and I had a choice to make in that moment, right? I could either be honest and tell him that this is what life is for a black man, or I could make something up that would ease the pain. I made something up, and I just tried to ease the pain. I lied to my son. Go.
Yeah, I don't even remember what he got, man. They give him some stupid, I think, or something. But Chris says they didn't give him anything. Chris says school sports in Winnipeg is all politics. Yeah, man, we know that. Yeah, that's what it is. Everybody knows that,
And the worst part about that experience was that when we went back into the place there and my guy was holding his stuff together, we went back in, that coach had the nerve to look at Jordan and say, "Hey, buddy, maybe next year." What, maybe next year? I should have asked, maybe next year what? Maybe next year you'll do the right thing? Maybe next year he'll get what's rightfully his? Maybe next year what? But as a black man, you can't be too loud, you can't be too proud. You got to take your lumps. That's what it is. They seem to like us silly, goofy, hucking and shucking. Unthreatening, non-threatening. For the most part, Jordan had it easy because he's a very unassuming dude. And he didn't come into his size until a couple years ago. So for the most part, he had it easy. This dude been big from time. And what's worse, he had his father's temperament. He identified as black from jump. I remember from jump. There was, that's just what he was. That's, to the bone. And it wasn't easy. And the worst part is that as a parent, watching it happen, as a parent, what do I say to his high school basketball coach who's absolutely insistent that he should be doing layups and never dunking in a game? That would actually penalize him for dunking. What do I say to that guy? How do I engage? What does that conversation look like? What do I say? What do I say to a principal whose administration doesn't understand that it's inappropriate to use the kind of languages, you guys or guys like you is not
you
for
people.
You people was the word. Tell the story. It's your story. Tell the story.
Oh yeah. So we had just got done. It was a night practice. It was a late practice, so we were at the school pretty late, and
at Sisler.
At Sisler, we were just winding down. We were probably waiting for our ride. Me and Guy, we always go everywhere together, so we were waiting for our ride to come pick us up, and we were just chilling at the front of the school. There was a desk set up there, and we were just chilling with this girl who happened to be there too. We were just we weren't even being rowdy, to be honest, because we could get pretty rowdy, you know. But that time we were not being rowdy at all. We were just sitting there talking, and I guess there was some kind of event going on in the library, so they had people coming through.
It's a meet and greet.
Right where we were sitting, they had people coming with their nice clothes and dresses and all that, you know. And then so the girl who was running it, it was Miss Carpick. Actually, a couple people in the chat here will know who that is. Miss Carpick came and she told us to leave, and we were like, well, we're not doing anything. We're just waiting for our ride. You know, it's cold outside. Why do you want us to wait outside? You know, and then she just said, you know, we don't want you people sitting around here. You know, we got an event going on here, and we don't want you people here. And after when she said that, I was kind of like stunned, like, whoa, did she just say that? But and then a guy, he started going off. You know, he let her have it. Like he really dug into her, and then we ended up getting in trouble. Me and Guy got in trouble from that. They didn't let us play the first tournament, basketball tournament of the year, the KE tournament. It's always the first one. They didn't let us play in it because of that situation, because she called us you people, you know, and Guy let her have it a little bit, you know, and they took us into the administrative office and all that the next day, and I probably could have gotten away because I didn't actually say anything, but I don't know, I wasn't just going to rat on my homie like that, so I just told them, well, I didn't say anything, so I don't know who did, you know, that's just what I said, so we both ended up getting in trouble, because apparently Guy was standing behind me when he said it, so it sounded like it was coming from my mouth. Oh, there he is, right there. Just joined in.
What up, fam?
What
up, man? We just telling your story, man.
We just talking about you. Yeah.
We just talking about that time to remind him.
We were just talking about when Miss Carpick called us you people at the front of the school there. I know you remember that. We were chilling there after practice one day, and Miss Carpick was having that event go on, and we got in trouble for that when she insulted us. We got in trouble. We weren't allowed to play the first tournament of the year. I know you remember that.
So now, if I remember correctly, Miss Carpick is indigenous.
Yeah, she is. Probably
and she actually is the school liaison for inclusivity, and she was doing an event welcoming, I think, indigenous students who were thinking about attending the school, an event based on inclusivity, and she say to the two black kids, we don't want you people around here. so I go to the school because he tell me about this, right? He tell me about this. Simpson Strong facts, and he tell me about this, and so I go to the school to talk with Herr Heschke, right? And I'm in a meeting there with him and the teacher in question. I mean, they got a grip of them in there. You know, they're like 5, 6 of them, the administrators in there, right?
That's how they do it, man.
I guess
One
they were,
kid,
right?
Six administrators,
right?
That's how they do it.
Right? Like a police state, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess they were trying to intimidate me, but whatever. And here's what's really interesting, though. Here's what's really interesting. His Michelle, y'all know who Michelle is white. She claimed to be his mother. She ain't never been a mother to any of my kids. She white. You think she would defend her child against white supremacy? She sat that one out on the sidelines. Let me handle it. She never do that. She don't let me handle nothing. She sat that one out. You think she'd defend her own child against white supremacy? So I went up in there, solo, maverick, gung-ho, like a man got to sometime. And they just could not understand how I felt that it was inappropriate for someone, an administrator on their staff, to be using that kind of language to my son. They gave no ground. They gave no quarter. I mean, I tried. I mean, if it was a fight, I mean, I'd have been good, right? Hereshka, what, 85 years old, and there was a couple women up there. I'd have been good. There's a one guy, that big guy, that old vice principal there, that old tall guy. Yeah, he. However, you can't. That's not that kind of arena.
Yeah.
I did what I could. And at the time, this was what, in 2015 ish.
Yeah.
And at the time, Black Lives Matter was just like kicking off in the States. And I remember because I knew about them because I was a Facebook, woke on Facebook. I'm not woke no more, folks. And so I remember thinking to myself, man, I ought to call these cats up and we can go do a rally outside the school or something. Those were early days, though. That was before it became a thing. Quite honestly, it's before it became a thing. It's before Black Lives Matter. I mean, when you say Black Lives Matter, I say no shit. Y'all just figuring that out now. I've known that my entire life. I don't need a movement to tell me that. I got that. So yeah, man. The thing is, the more you sit and you delve and you talk with your homies and so on and so forth, and if you pay attention, right, and you look at some of the names that have been up in the rafters, guys that have played for Team Manitoba, guys that have got tryouts for Team Canada, guys that have gotten get shine, and you wonder why certain names are missing off that roster. And I'm not calling my own name. I was never that guy. But I played with cats that it don't make no sense to me. I know cats that related to cats that fathered cats that. I mean, Ryder just rolled by. You saw Ryder there right quick in the frame. Ryder decided that he wanted to play some football. Was last summer, baby? 2 summers now?
2 summers, I think.
2 summers. Yeah, Ryder just said 2 summers. So because of where we at, we're in Castleberry, so we went over to Nomads. And because of my, they asked me to coach. They needed a coach. They asked me to coach. I didn't want to coach. They asked me to coach. They needed to coach. My kid is playing. Okay, I'll coach. Nah, man. It ain't. Like, when you watch the division and these coaches who are living vicariously and existentially through these kids, like, you look at the division of the team and you want to tell me that, it was just completely random. The biggest player on our team was pretty much Ryder, and the other team had like 3 guys his size. And even the girl that was on the team was bigger than everybody that was on our team. But that was random. I don't know, man. Basketball, I stepped away from basketball 13 years, came back. It's the same mess. It's worse now because it's bigger than it was before, and it's just money. It's just money changing hands, and nobody looking out for these kids. Nobody looking out for these kids. These kids, especially these inner city kids, these immigrants in the inner city, they're being exploited left, right, and center, and nobody looking out for them. Went to Wedlake, went to Becker, went to Sean Close. I went and talked to all these cats, and I showed them the flaws and the holes in the system, and I said, hey, I don't mind that y'all making your money, but fix this. Respect in sports is a toothless organization. I know, I talked to the director. He says that the only way to give him some tooth, he's as frustrated as I am. He said the only way is to talk to Wedlake and get Wedlake to bring all these teams under the same umbrella. Basketball Manitoba, I talked to Wedlake. Well, I love you. Mommy. Nobody seems to, everybody too busy counting money to care what's happening to these kids. And then, how many... Hereshka had a kid that I know personally. I know the kid. I know his family. And English is ESL, right? English is always an issue, right? Comprehension, right? From the African continent, right? Kid had mental health issues. Instead of helping him, Heshka kicked him out.
Yeah, expelled him.
Expelled him. Hey, Riddell, God bless you, man. Thanks for stopping in.
Riddell, what's up, bro? Shredder.
He expelled him. And the story doesn't have a happy ending because the kid didn't get the help that he needed and he didn't get on his meds. He's sitting on a charge right now. The good news is that now that his meds have been regulated, now that he can actually, because he's on the inside and he has, you know what I mean, he can get the kid. He shouldn't have had to go to jail, man. The kid should have been in hospital. But hospitals are not for black and brown kids. Hey, man, I ain't calling nobody out. I'm just talking about my lived life experience. You know? It is what it is. Riddell, because you here, man, let's talk about real quick. Tell me about the time that you boomed on that teacher in the cafeteria, you and Sean. Talk about it.
I agree with that.
Is guy in here still? Oh, if guy's in here, he'll know about that too. But yeah, no, it was just, it was bad, man. Sean brought the hoop to school and he brought the ball, so you know it was gonna be a crazy day. So all day we were just dunk camming people all day long, you know. And we just happened to be in the cafeteria at lunch. Ethan knows this. He said, yeah. We got suspended for this, man.
Yeah, I know.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
So we were just dunk camming people all day long. That was when Vine was really huge too. So it was slap cam, dunk cam, all that was a real thing. And we were just in the cafeteria, just chilling. And then they had the substitute teacher in there supervising the cafeteria. So I don't even know whose idea it was. I don't know whose idea it was.
Pretty sure it was your idea, dude.
I don't know.
Pretty sure. Own that, man. It's okay, man. We're how far removed, man. It's okay.
Yeah, so I went and just stood right behind him. He didn't even see me yet. He didn't even see Sean. I stood right behind him, and I wasn't holding the rim up yet, but then Sean came from the side, and guy went in between the legs and threw him an alley-oop, and then I held the board up right on top of his head, and Sean, caught that shit back, all the way back here, just boomed on his head. Oh, it was so bad. There was a video and everything, and then Rainier got in trouble for watching. He didn't even do anything. He got suspended for watching.
Wow.
So
Rainier's Filipino. I should mention that. Rainier's Filipino. I should mention that.
That's how it is. He didn't even do anything. And and then after that, another girl in the grade below us got in trouble because she said to dunk on Heshka. she said that and got in trouble. She said in a group chat, dunk on Heshka,
just
and then someone screenshotted it, I guess, and showed it to Heshka, and she got in trouble for that. Yeah.
Wow.
Statute of limitations is over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you mean that you can't get in trouble for it no more.
Oh.
So you can own it. That was your idea. You can own it. Hey, and I mean, I'm no fan of Heshka. And it's only because of my lived life experience. Because I showed that man every respect that he was due, and he showed me none in return. He was dismissive. I mean, we're still waiting for a callback for him when he closed the library on our daughter. He closed the library in the school for a week because the kids apparently weren't returning their books. So to my way of thinking, if the books aren't being returned, that means that your administrative staff isn't doing their job tracking down the books. So you're going to punish the kids for your staff not doing their job. He closed the library for a week. And that's a concern for us because our eldest daughter who's there now, I mean, that's one of her safe places to go during spares and lunch. So now you've just removed a safe space within the school for our child. And when we got a hold of him, and I had more concerns with Jordan, who was playing for Tyler Tynes at the time, and I had some concerns, and no one was wanting to talk to me as a parent, not even as Ian Simpson the person, but Ian Simpson the parent, and no one would talk to me, and I thought, well, that's not right, and I sent emails, and and I wanted to talk to the athletic department, Liz Swirsky, and Heshka had my emails redirected to him. And so we said, okay, this was about Christmas of last year. So we said, we'll wait till the kids were still in school. We'll wait till the New Year convenes. And I said, we sent them an email, my wife and I. We said we have concerns about our children, attending, and if you could just return. All now we haven't heard back from Heshka. And I mean, we're parents, goddammit. Our children are in your care. That's supposed to mean something. So I'm not at all unhappy when I heard that he's having his own difficulties now, and I think that God take care of his own. So the chickens have come home to roost on Herr Heshka. Mm-hmm. Right, bragging all these years that Sisler has those graduation rates, best graduation rates in North America. Yeah, because he was fudging them. Once again, justice is served for God's people. And so, I mean, this is a good time as any. That's a perfect segue to get to really what I want to really get into, and that's the fact that yes, white supremacy is a very real thing, especially here in Winnipeg, because here in Winnipeg, it's a really polite racism. It's not the overt kind of up-in-your-face racism that would get a brother lynched, right? It's the constant and continuous microaggressions on a daily basis, like when a brother on the job, and you gotta listen to the jokes, You walk into the lunchroom and the conversation stop or change. Yo, construction is, if you black or brown, just stay out construction, man. Just stay out that industry. It's not for us. You had something you wanted to say?
No.
Okay. But the message is this. There's grace if you want it. We can choose to continue to resonate at this level and get caught up in this nonsense. And I did that. I was an angry black man for a lot of years. 45 years I was an angry black man. And it got me nothing. 45 years I was woke. Unless you're an engineer. What in reference to what, Carla? Give me some context there, please, Carla. I'm sorry. I get so shiny sometimes. I already forgot what I said.
When you were talking about construction, not to go into construction.
Oh, right. Straight fact. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go in at the top. Don't go in as a laborer, carpenter, you know what I mean? Something like that. Now, facts, Carla. Yeah, if you're going in as an engineer or a crane operator or supervisor or as a boss position, you're fine. You're a boss. However, if you're just the rank and file, don't do it. Just don't. Just don't. Don't do it to yourself. I mean, you know what? Hey. You know what? No. I digress. That was my lived life experience. It doesn't mean that it'll be yours, right? And if you decide, we all do what we have to do, and I hope that your experience, if that's the way you decide to go, it was better than mine, right? So then the message becomes this, right? That there's grace, because we can choose to resonate at this level where, we get caught up in all the nonsense, and we get caught up in the idea that, Black Lives Matter, and we want reparations, and give me my 90 acres and a mule, and all this and the other, and everything else. And I like to call it the crabs in a barrel syndrome. We can continue to exist in the barrel, or we can get out. And that's the beauty of grace, because God has left us the ability to manifest our own best lives. I mean, it's really just up to us. I mean, to say, and how do you go about manifesting your best life? Well, I ask you this. Let me ask you this. How do you go about manifesting your best life? Let me ask you this. You have to ask yourself one question. Right? Say, what's really important to me in life? I ask yourself two questions. What's really important to yourself in life? What's really important to me in life? And once you've identified what is really, really important, the second question you have to ask yourself is this: where do I spend my time? And if your time is not spent in the area that you've identified, that if the majority of your time is not spent in the area that you've identified is what is really important to you, then one of two things. Number one, either you're not being completely honest about what's important, or you need to change your focus. The thing is, though, that it's all up to you, and it starts with you and it ends with you. Nobody can do it for you. I mean, everybody can go out and get a DIY book, get a steps book, this, that, and the other, everything else. And our young people, I will say, we had some young people with us this evening. I will say to you this, young people. I will say to you this. If ever you have an opportunity, maybe, somebody, God forbid, passes and leaves you an inheritance of some kind. If you have an opportunity where you get a windfall, some kind of money come your way, and you have an opportunity to invest, and you need some advice on what to invest in, I will say this to you unequivocally every single time: invest in yourself. Because nobody ought to be more invested in your success than you. Right? Invest in yourself, young people. Buy stocks in you. Invest in you. And I don't mean go out and get a car and this is here's a valuable lesson that I learned not too long ago. They say that the wealthy and the middle class spend money differently. Right? Said that the middle class, they spend money to generate debt. The wealthy, they spend money to generate revenue. If I were to break that down, this is oversimplification to be sure. However, the middle class would go out and buy a car, right? That's debt for a certain amount of time. A wealthy person would go out and buy a fleet and turn them into taxis. That's generating revenue. And they don't spend their own money. So it's all about changing your mindset. It's all about changing the way that you think. And then we have to identify and separate our wants from our needs. Very important, young people. Very important. But I mean, hey, Noah, final word. Get into it.
Final word. Yeah, we're just touching on a whole bunch of stuff.
Whole bunch of stuff.
A little all over the place
all
little
over
bit,
the
but
place.
we're still stuck on the main point was the going up the racism in Winnipeg through sports and other things. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't know, I just learned a lot of things along the way. Realized a lot of things. And, just got to try to somehow get in and try to change things.
Well, I mean, the thing is, and this is not a doomsayers thing that, kids, you guys got to know that there's nothing but traps out there for. No, that's not what this is. My role in this is, my role and my wife's role, as we've talked about it, in this is to explain to our children that, yes, you need to identify that these traps exist. Because if you're unaware of the dangers of white supremacy, then it will swallow you up alive. However, you have to know that you can safely navigate by grace through this system, because God will place people every step of your way to assist you, but you have to be in a place where you're ready and willing to accept those blessings. So that becomes our part in this, to ensure that our children are aware. The pitfalls are out there, yes, however, they can get above it, resonate at a higher frequency, leave the distractions behind, and live a life of grace, because God has created a safe haven for his inside all of this madness. God bless you all. We appreciate you for stopping in. Those that stopped in, interacted. What you got there, sir?
What's up, Trezon? How's it going?
Oh, that's who that is. Hey, Trezon, how you doing, kid? Good to see you. God bless you. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, and that's it for us for tonight. Thank you for stopping in. Tomorrow we'll be back again, same time. My lovely wife will be back with us. Not entirely sure yet what the topic will be, but I'm sure we're about to have some fun. Thanks very much, and God bless you all.
Real quick, drop a comment in the comment section letting us know what you want us to talk about.
That would be awesome. You want to have Noah back, we can do another episode of basketball, loving basketball. We might even change it to Basketball Diaries, who knows. But yeah, that's just what it is. We just